All right. So one thing we know for sure, energy is definitely not more affordable since I had you on last time. The first clip I want to show you, and we'll talk about all things energy, is of the opposition asking about government rebates and having concerns from premiers that are saying this is kind of costly. So let's roll to the clip, and then we'll come right back.
Well, she doesn't believe me. What maybe she'll believe the Liberal Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador, who said as the July 1st implementation date of the federal regulations approaches, Atlantic premiers remain concerned about the detrimental and disproportionate impact they will have on Atlantic Canadians. Together with the carbon tax increase also scheduled for July 1st, an increase in the cost of gasoline and diesel is anticipated. These increases will further add to inflationary pressures that will increase the cost of other goods imported to the region. That's not me. That is the Liberal Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador. Is he wrong?
The Honourable Minister.
The people of Newfoundland and Labrador will be getting back nearly $1,000 through our price on pollution, which puts the money back into the pockets of Canadians.
Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
Well, that's interesting. Now she's finally talking numbers. It turns out that Newfoundland and Labradorians will be paying $2,166 more in carbon taxes and taxes on the tax than they get back in any of these phony rebates. If these numbers are right, what are the correct numbers?
So Dan, not often you get all the premiers agreeing on certain things from any provinces. So it's interesting they're asking them to delay what's going to be coming into effect in July. Any thoughts on that?
Well, what's coming into effect on July 1st, Dean, is the second carbon tax. Interesting that the finance minister didn't answer even the second carbon tax, which we know the clean fuel standard does not have any rebate. What people are going to notice is, though, a significant decrease in their mileage. That's because refiners are required to reduce even further emissions. And to do so, they're going to have burned a lot more ethanol. Ethanol is not gasoline. It's not diesel. And for that reason, it's going to its addition won't just mean higher food costs. It'll also mean importation of ethanol from the United States. More importantly, it's also going to mean about a 5 to 10% decrease in your mileage. So you're going to notice the first indirect tax is in fact going to be lousier mileage. And that's, by the way, Dean, just for the first 2 years. After 2025, you're going to start to see the elevation in the price of the second carbon tax as refiners have to go to carbon credit markets. We know there is one in British Columbia that's currently 17, 18 cents a liter, as I've been saying since 2019. By the time we get down to 2030, it'll be an additional 30 cents a liter. That's not my figures. Of course, the PBO said 17 cents, but it was using actually the methodology given by Environment Canada itself. Had they done so, they would have concluded what we concluded last September. For the second time, pointing out the shortcomings of the CFS. Glad to see the premiers of Atlantic Canada again coming together to fight the federal government on this. The reality, however, is it's going to have a devastating impact. You'll have the first carbon tax going up by about 42 cents a liter. We already know it's up 16 cents. And then add on to that another 30 cents a liter. Then the devastating impact. We're not even talking about, the CFS applying to things like natural gas or propane. That's the second volley that the federal Liberal NDP coalition is prepared to impose on Canadians.
So Dan, one of the things that was going back in that clip is just the government saying you'll get $1,000 back. The opposition is saying no, it's actually going to cost you, $2,000 more than what you're going to get back. Just talk to us about what you know about rebates and what it's actually costing people.
Dean, I do a lot of interviews in Newfoundland on a weekly basis. And I can tell you that the cost of energy is among the highest in the country, short of Vancouver, where there is the only reason Vancouver is higher is because it currently has in British Columbia a clean fuel standard. So Newfoundland will join the parade and will come at a time in which incomes are extraordinarily challenged in that part of the country where, let's face it, it is among the less wealthy of the provinces. And so the impact will be, as the parliamentary budget officer says, even more, more damaging. Not just with the first carbon tax, which won't meet, as the PBO has pointed out, will not meet the increase in cost. And we're not even talking about direct costs. As you raise the price of energy artificially, as the federal government is doing, you see two factors. One, These prices make their way throughout the economy, not just in gasoline or diesel, but home heating fuel, energy, and food.
Dan,
Yes,
hold that
food.
thought.